My dear learners, I would like to discuss the monitoring system and the benefits of GST, that is the goods and service tax. Now, first I would like to discuss the monitoring system. By this time, you are familiar with the terms like GST Council, GST Network. And the entire process of GST is monitored by these two councils. One is GST Council and another is GST Network. And in the GST ecosystem, GST Council and GSTN or GST Network play the key role. Let me explain the formation of the GST Council. GST Council is a body which is comprised by the ministers. The GST Council is headed by the Union Finance Minister. The Vice Chairman is the Finance Minister of State. The Finance Minister from one state government selected as the Vice Chairman. So, if we consider the constitution of the GST Council, we can find that there is a chairperson. Generally, the Union Finance Minister is a chairperson of the GST Council. So, it is headed by the Union Finance Minister. And then there is a post of Vice Chairman. And one of the finance ministers from one state government is selected as the Vice Chairman. And who are the other members? The Union Minister of State in Finance. There is the Minister of State of the Department of Finance or Revenue of the central government is the member. And Finance Minister of all state government is the ex officio member of the GST Council. And how the decisions are taken in the GST Council? The quorum would be 50% of the total members. So, members are the finance ministers of all state government and the Minister of State of Finance of the Indian government. There is a Union Minister of State of Finance is the ordinary member and the chairperson and vice chairperson. So, quorum would be the 50% of total members. But decisions are taken by 3/4 majority. That is, at least 75% members should agree with the decisions. If 75% of the members agree, then the decisions is taken finally. And in this process, the participation from state government, that is the ministers, finance ministers from the state government, plays the key role in making the decisions. Now, what would be the functions and powers? The GST Council is a powerful committee, or you can say it is a council, which recommends all the relevant issues relating to GST, whether the rate of tax, whether the exclusion of item from GST or process of registration. So, all the items to be considered in the GST Council. So, GST Council is very powerful council in respect of GST. Then comes the GST network, and we know the entire ecosystem is based on IT infrastructure, and GST network was established as a non-profit private limited company as per section 8 of the Companies Act 2013. So, it is a not-for-profit private limited company, and it controls the entire ecosystem of the GST, and everything is done online. So, it is based a robust IT infrastructure, and GST portal provides an accurate and transparent system of registration, creation of challan, payment of tax, filing of return, everything. And it also helps the tax authority to check the authenticity of the tax compliance. So these are the most important part in the entire ecosystem of the GST. The GST Council and GST Network. GST Network is a not-for-profit private limited company who runs the GSTN portal. And the entire ecosystem is controlled online. It is a portal and everything is done through this portal. Now we are talking about the GST, but who will pay the GST or who will come under the purview of the GST, Goods and Service Tax Act? We can say the registered person who is already registered prior to the implementation of the GST. They will automatically come under the purview of GST. That is a registered person. And another category is a person liable to be registered. Now you can ask, who is liable to be registered under the GST Act? Here we can say the aggregate turnover exceeds rupees 20 lakhs. If a person having an aggregate turnover exceeding rupees 20 lakhs from intrastate supply, from interstate supply or casual taxable person who supplies the handicraft goods. So these are the three categories. If their aggregate turnover exceeds rupees 20 lakhs, they will be liable to be registered under the GST. So there are two categories. One is a registered person who is already registered prior to the introduction of GST, and a person who is liable, a person will also be liable to be registered if his turnover exceeds rupees 20 lakhs from interstate supply, intrastate supply or casual taxable person who supply the handicraft goods. So these are two types of persons who are liable to be assessed under GST Act. So the concept is clear. Now, how the benefit is derived from the GST? We introduced the GST already in 2017. So what are the benefits? Why the GST was introduced for our Indian economy? We can say the GST provides the benefits to all the stakeholders. It may be a business or an industry, it may be customers or a government. So all the stakeholders will be benefited from GST. And it is also expected that it will reduce the cost of goods and services and make them globally competitive. I can summarize here some significant benefits for your easy understanding. Let us explain the benefits. Number one, it will create a common national market, because earlier there are different types of indirect taxes. Now we have only one tax system, that is the GST. So it will create a common national market. It will eliminate the boundary of the state across the country. It will eliminate the cascading effect, that is tax on tax will be eliminated. Since the tax base is broadened, it will automatically increase the government revenue. And last, it will reduce the transaction cost, because earlier I have told you that the entire ecosystem is controlled by a GSTN portal. Online system is there. So it will help to decrease the transaction cost, and also it will help for easy compliance of tax. Let us explain one by one. Number one, I have told you the creation of common national market. So it aims to make India a common market with common tax rate. Uniform tax rate is applicable since 1st July 2017. All over India, wherever you go, the same tax rate is applicable. Number two, it will eliminate the cascading effect. Since beginning, I am talking about the subsumes. So GST subsumes most of the central and state indirect taxes into a single tax, and allow the credit of tax paid from the output tax for the transaction across the entire supply chain process. So, the tax credit mechanism will eliminate the tax on tax. So, burden of tax on the final consumer will automatically decrease. Next one, the increase in government revenue. Since all types of goods and services except certain items have been taken into consideration, have been taken into the GST purview, so it will widen the GST tax base. It will widen the tax base. So it will automatically increase the government revenue. And the last and important part is the tax compliance. Tax compliance means from registration to payment of tax and filing of return. Since the entire ecosystem is controlled by GSTN portal or online platform, every step is being checked, whether it is a registration, whether it is payment of tax, whether it is generation of challan, whether it is filing of return, or whether it is writing of the tax or credit of tax or adjustment of input and output tax. So, tax compliance, it will improve the tax compliance. So, at the end, we may summarize that the introduction of GST will definitely help the Indian economy to make the Indian market globally competitive. I hope you will enjoy the online learning on GST. Thank you.